In this video, you will learn how to manage wounds on multiple visits in the Axxess Home Health Mobile Wound Manager. Aside from documenting the wound assessment and new wounds, when managing wounds on subsequent visits, there are other actions that may be required. Once inside the Wound Manager, click the document icon for the wound list. On a tablet, the wound list and the anatomical figure are on the landing page. Each wound is listed by its number and includes the location and description. Wounds that have not been documented will have a gray Not Started flag. Once you've entered the wound documentation, the blue flag indicates saved wounds, and the green Completed flag identifies wounds that are validated. The Load Previous Documentation button is available at the top of the wound list. Note that documentation fields tied to calculating the wound score are not loaded from the previous notes. If the previous documentation has not been completed, it will not get loaded for the current visit. See the Learn More button for more information on the wound score, including which assessment questions are used in the calculation. If a wound visit does not require care to be performed on the current visit, click the Care Not Performed button and select a reason from the drop-down list. This will enable the QA assistant to validate the wound and complete the wound manager. Select Deactivate when the wound is no longer active. Add a reason for deactivation from the drop-down list. Once the wound is deactivated, it will flow to the wound history page and may be reactivated within 14 days. After 14 days, the wound will remain on the wound history page but can no longer be reactivated. Only Stage 3 and Stage 4 pressure ulcers may be reactivated after 14 days. The wound orders will automatically get marked as discontinued and no further action is required. If there are no longer any active wounds, remember to resolve your interventions, need for wound management, and goals in the plan of care profile of your visit note under Interventions. Let's click on a wound to review other available actions on the documentation page. Change wound orders may be selected to associate a new wound order to the current wound if new wound orders have already been entered into the wound orders profile via the Physician Order button or by your organization ahead of time. Click Associate once the correct order is identified. Edit Treatment Performed, removing the asterisks and updating the wording in the order to past tense verbiage. When the wound has deteriorated, select Change in Wound Type. This will give you the ability to restage pressure ulcers, change the tissue type of non-pressure ulcers such as arterial, venous, and diabetic ulcers, and change closed surgical wounds to open. It's critical to change the wound type on the date of the visit, as the wound characteristics cannot be changed when a subsequent visit is started. Axxess, empowering care anytime, anywhere.